So I discovered Hamza self-improvement videos in the beginning of 2022. The pandemic lockdown restrictions had come to an end, and I was left skinny and out of shape from a lack of exercise, depressed that my filmmaking career had been put on pause for a couple of years, and facing anxiety for having not socialized in person much thanks to isolation. Then out of nowhere came this down-to-earth dude that shared how to get gym gains, find an entrepreneurial purpose, and ways to develop one's social circle and charisma. Over the next 2 years, I put on about 35 pounds of muscle from 160 pounds at 6 feet to now 195 pounds. I advanced my career and built my own production company and developed lasting personal and professional relationships. Since I wanted to take my self-improvement to the next level and share my journey with others on this channel, I decided to enroll in Hamza's paid community called Adonis Skool for the past 30 days. Epictetus once said, "Progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily." So it was important for me to find an effective community of hard workers who were serious about developing themselves daily as well. Welcome to Success Stoic, where I, a philosophy graduate, help you succeed mentally and physically with the best philosophy, Stoicism. The view of achieving your potential through resilience and integrity. It's what the S stands for. So, in an internet landscape full of coarse scams and shady influencers, how did Hamza's Adonis Skool stack up? As a filmmaker, I like to break things into acts. So in Act 1, titled Humanzing Hamza, I'll go over my personal experience with Hamza in the school. Act 2 will be about my views on the curriculum itself and whether I found them beneficial to me. And in Act 3, I'll go over my experience with the community as a whole. This is an unbiased review as I'm not getting paid to make it. There's no affiliate link down below. And I wasn't even asked to make it. This is just a review I wish I received and would have loved to hear before enrolling, and I think it could be useful to you as well if you're considering it. And action. Act 1, Humanizing Hamza, my experience. So before I joined Adonis Skool, I was in Hamza's free school called Adonis Gang, which has 150,000 members. Hamza made a post about joining Adonis Skool with the added benefit of unlocking bonuses, so I was the first to sign up. Shortly after, I got a message from Hamza Ahmed himself in Adonis Gang. He went on about how impressed he was of my contributions to the group and how he wanted to support my channel. Ecstatic, I posted about this in Adonis Gang and everyone went wild. Then I posted about it in Adonis Skool and everyone called out it was a scammer posing as Hamza. What I immediately realized from Adonis Skool is that since it's more of a tight-knit community of only about 1,000 members, people have a better understanding of Hamza's behavior and it's harder for scammers to actually enter the community because of the paywall. Anyway, Hamza and his brother Danish, who's an admin in the group, messaged me that they'd banned the scammer and I began to take full advantage of Adonis Skool. What surprised me was the fact Hamza made regular posts asking us what we were struggling on, where we could then comment on our questions and he'd give us personally tailored advice. I commented once about how I was feeling dismayed at the fact that this very channel was only getting about 100 views a video. Hamza replied with a Reddit link, so I clicked it and found a post of his from 4 years ago before any of his success. In it, he was asking about why his fitness videos were only getting 0 views per video, aside from the ones of him rewatching it. He could have just given me generic advice here of hanging in there and working hard, but instead he showed me how he was literally in my shoes when he was starting out, and more so that my videos are actually performing better than him when he began, which gave me a tremendous amount of hope for this channel and the journey ahead. Additionally, on Fridays to Sundays, Hamza runs coaching calls for the top 3 students who are most active within the community, but sometimes those students aren't available. So instead, Hamza offers one-on-one coaching for students who end up attending these live calls, which is pretty cool considering people pay him thousands of dollars just for one-on-one coaching. I was really fortunate enough to have been selected one time, and I had a thorough discussion with Hamza on everything from branding for my channel to scaling to monetizing to what platforms to consider and more. Throughout all my interactions with him, he came across as a genuine dude who wants to help other guys level up in all areas of their life. The ultra-masculine Adonis character he plays sometimes in his YouTube videos are just that, a character meant to be entertaining and engaging, and ultimately meant to inspire you to become the best version of yourself. But the guy's never had a superiority complex or a real cult leader mentality, despite his IG username being a play on that term. He was even kind enough to DM me throughout my time in the school to check in on how I was enjoying everything. It really goes to show that the hit pieces on him are nothing more than sensationalized drama aimed at getting clicks through controversy. Hamza struck me as someone who's just been authentically sharing what self-improvement techniques have worked for him while growing himself and developing his own personal brand before our very eyes. He's not perfect and doesn't pretend to be in the school. To use a film analogy, it's kind of like how the Avengers or Justice League has different types of heroes. Some, like Superman and Captain America, are these clean-cut, polished Boy Scouts. Then others like Batman and Iron Man are much more grounded, relatable, rough around the edges. The same seems to be true for the self-improvement influencers we look up to. You need to learn from different types in order to grow, and the fact Hamza has come from humble beginnings as a child of immigrants similar to me has made his self-made success story all the more inspiring. More channels should take the time to celebrate him achieving financial freedom through a positive form of entrepreneurship that encourages his audience to evolve to their best selves. Act 2, the curriculum, my experience. I was surprised by just how thorough the curriculum was. Under the Classroom tab, there are dozens of courses and guides that cover how to effectively navigate things like health, love, business, and more. Like I mentioned earlier, there are also live calls scheduled throughout the week, some Hamza paid nearly $10,000 for, like having $10 million entrepreneur William Brown doing weekly coaching calls for Adonis School students. YouTuber Jack Pagot, who has over 1 million subscribers, also does weekly calls. YouTuber Harut, who's made $500,000 before 21 years old, has done business coaching calls where he walks students through Hamza's $1,000 roadmap. And Hamza's brother Danish does regular calls to offer support to students on a variety of topics. Not only were these calls in-depth, usually lasting an hour or so, but there was always time for Q&As where you could have a real discussion with the coaching call hosts. My channel has already gained a lot from applying what I've learned from these business courses and calls. I've come up with a robust monetization plan, learned how to create compelling content, which has already attracted big creators on Instagram and YouTube who now want to collaborate, even with just 100 followers. These include FitMonk, who's at 60,000 followers on Instagram, and Attitude, another self-improvement Stoic page at 60,000 followers on YouTube, and many more to come. Act 3, the community, my experience. My favorite part of the school would have to be the community. When I initially joined, I was apprehensive about it just being a Hamza fan club or echo chamber, where everyone just tries to get his attention or talk about his videos, but it's actually more of a general self-improvement and entrepreneurship community whose main moderator just happens to be Hamza. People make posts to the community related to fitness, business, love, and personal wins. These can be in the form of questions or updates to show how they're progressing and to inspire others. Students seem to be really active in there and genuinely support each other with helpful advice. I've made a ton of friends. Special shout out to a couple of my buddies I met there, Yu Jun and Stan Moorish. They've been blowing up lately with all the great content that they've been putting out, so check them out when you get the chance. But anyway, back to the review. So one element of the school which really keeps things interesting is the point system. Basically, anytime you get a like on a post or comment, it allows you to increase your rank within the school community and unlock more benefits. This could be a course or an opportunity to submit a video collab idea with Hamza, which I just unlocked, so I'll be doing that. But basically, it's a neat way to keep the school community active with engagement. And fortunately, no one begs for likes or makes bait comments or posts for likes, but the system does make it so that the top 3 people with the most amount of likes on the leaderboard have a chance to get one-on-one coaching with Hamza, which everyone can learn from as well as they watch the live call unfold. So overall, I enjoyed my 30-day experience of Adonis School. It's priced at $127 a month, which isn't bad because that's only $4 a day for access to dozens of courses, which each used to sell for hundreds of dollars. I would say to join if you're one of 2 people. Either you need the accountability that comes from being a community of ambitious young men who are all about improving themselves mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, or you'd like to network with other self-improvement content creators because you're building your own channel. I've decided to renew my membership because there's still so much more for me to learn and more connections to be made. But whether you decide to take that leap of faith is all up to you. For those of you who are interested in fitness or life coaching, hit me up on Instagram. Remember to make future you proud, subscribe to succeed, and always stay stoic.